lock this in here. There we go. What is going on, YouTube? We are just getting started with a little Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the TikTok live right here. And somebody in the TikTok live asked a question. Do you invent your own products or just slap a logo on what's already selling and find a supplier? I want to expand on this. So again, I already said this on TikTok. Excuse me, TikTok. I'm going to repeat myself real quick. Not inventing my own products, not recreating the water bottle or anything like that. But I'm also not just clicking copy and paste. My third to last video that I posted on TikTok, not including my pinned videos, the title is Adapt or Get Crushed Selling on Amazon. Gone are the days where you can just click copy and paste on a random product, hope for the best, throw random keywords in a campaign. And this honestly goes for every business model on Amazon. It is harder to sell on Amazon because there's more barriers to entry, like for every business model. The arbitrage and wholesale guys, they didn't have the same ungating issues that all of you will have. Private label, wholesale, or private label, you actually have to learn to develop the product, stand out, differentiate from your competition so that you're adding value into the market. Is $1,000 enough to start? Not for private label. I got my first violation today. The product hasn't even reached the warehouse yet. My graphics apparently are similar to a brand. It's an easy fix. The Masterclass is $3K. Definitely worth it. Nice. I got $5K to invest. Hopefully that's good. For inventory, shipping, images, all of that, I think that's great, Bree. So the product that I just placed an order for, we did 200 units. Cost of goods was $974. So the total invoice came $974 per unit. So the total invoice came out to $1,900 and something. And then our shipping for those 200 units was $800. And it's going to vary. I'm not giving you exact numbers. This will vary based on your product, how many units you order, the cost of goods you get, the shipping rate you get. But for those 200 units, our shipping quote was also $800 and something. It came out to $4.04 a unit. So all in for cost of goods and shipping, we were about $2,700 landed. And then this was a one-time fee. It actually got reimbursed back to us, by the way. We had $150 in samples because we ordered 2 different samples. $75 was reimbursed back to us because we ended up going with one of the manufacturers. So one-time fee. And then we got our listing created. That was a few $100. Let's call it, I think, $500 for everything. So we got that done. So now all in, we're what? 27 plus 150 is 2850 plus 500. We're at 3350. Okay. And then we got an inspection done. That was like we'll call it 180. So what are we at now? 330. We were at 35, right? 34, 30. So now we're at 35. That's all in. What other expense am I missing? We got our business set up for $150. So we'll add that expense. I'm trying to think what else we spent money on. Samples, inspection, cost of goods, shipping. So all in, we were under 4Gs for everything. How much I expect to spend on ads at launch for my first product? It depends on what you set your budgets at. My biggest piece of advice is start conservatively. Don't turn on your ads and think that you're going to see 10K a month in sales automatically. More often than not, you'll run ads, they don't convert that well, and you have to make some optimizations from there. That's why I say start conservatively. Claudine, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Got my tax appointment next week. Yeah, it's so touching up on that a little bit more. I don't love tax time, don't get me wrong, but it's not like, it wasn't like a scary thing. It wasn't a reason for me to not start business. In fact, it's almost like a bigger thing in my head every time I do it. Like I was like, oh, I got to do the taxes, got to, do some things for taxes. And then I sit down and do it. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. Just time, it's a little tedious. What is a good thing to sell? It depends. There's lots of good things to sell. Nobody's going to just hand you a product to sell for free. It's 3K Soj. What if a product does not exist on Amazon? This is a bit of an interesting one, Jaisis, because Amazon is a search-based platform, right? Nobody's like going on Amazon, and well, people are, but not at scale. People aren't like scrolling through Amazon like they're scrolling through Instagram and Twitter or TikTok or whatever. They're going on, if they want a water bottle, they're searching for a water bottle, and then poof, water bottle results appear. So if a product doesn't exist on Amazon, then that means that people aren't searching for it on Amazon, which means people are not buying it on Amazon. The only way that you could realistically make this work is if it's a product that doesn't exist on Amazon, that's within a sub niche. So there's a category on Amazon, manual coffee grinder. Now I'm going to blank on the company name. So let me look it up real quick. Manual coffee grinder. Actually, at my very first Amazon conference, the owner of this company spoke. Java Press. There we go. Okay. So Java Press, if you look it up on Amazon, that was a brand new product when they came out. So if you look up manual coffee grinder, you'll see a bunch of different coffee grinders. They invented that product, that version of a manual coffee grinder. It didn't exist on Amazon, but they were, in fact, fun little story about them. Amazon created a whole new subcategory because of the product that they created. So they were able to still market their product as a coffee grinder. So people search coffee grinder and poof, theirs comes up. Now, people aren't necessarily searching for manual coffee grinder in that degree or for that type of product. But you need to have some traffic behind whatever you're launching. Where do you get your supply from? I want to locally source my products. I get a majority of my products from overseas. Here is, this is an interesting one. First off, it is an admirable thing to want to get things made and manufactured in the US. And I'm also not even saying that it's not a plausible thing. But let's say I wanted to get these AirPod cases manufactured. And I was like, you know what? I really want it to be American made. I could find a manufacturer for them, but it's probably going to cost me, I'm just making up numbers, let's say $5 a unit to get it manufactured here in the States. But then I go overseas and I'm able to get them manufactured for $1, $2 landed, right? It just makes a lot more economic sense to, source things overseas. And then I know there's also the mindset of like, and again, I'm not saying it's not possible. People do it. But then there's the mindset of like, no, but I want to employ people in the US, boom, boom, boom. That's great. Think about it like this. If you have a business where you're really strapped on cash, are you actually going to be able to create jobs if you're not able to sustain growth? Or if you have a business that has great cash flow, has great margins, are you going to be able to, now that you have a successful business, employ people here in the States, create local jobs? There's two ways to look at it. For me, from a numbers perspective, it makes sense to get a majority of products sourced from overseas. Lost, thank you for sharing the live. Good to see you. How to start in France, bro. Same way as everybody else. If you wanted to sell in the US, Amazon allows over 130 countries to sell on the US platform. Hamid, I don't answer questions like that, brother. You've been in the lives enough times. And for anyone who's wondering, the question is, Luke, what's your student's first 3 months in terms of units sold? There's not a person who can necessarily answer that, because every single there's not two students who have launched a product and have the exact same trajectory, launch, success, obstacles as another, right? One student may launch and in their first 3 months do 1,000 units. One student may launch and they're trying to sell their first test run order for in 3 months. So many variables in there. They're differentiators. They're how much they push for reviews, and because of all of those factors, you really can't necessarily give an average. I mean, I guess you can give an average, but it's not necessarily going to be the most accurate representation of how your journey would be, for example. Because another little side note, what's the saying? Past results are not an insight. What is it? Past results are not an insight for future successes, or something like that. Like if one of my students in 3 months, if I go tell you, yeah, I just had Johnny, he did 3,000 units in 3 months. You're like, oh my gosh. And then you launch a product. Just because Johnny did 3,000 units in 3 months does not have any indicator in any degree, not even 1% of how many units you'll sell for your product. How much do you spend on photos for product? It ranges anywhere from like 500 to 1,000. Well, for just photos, few $100. If you're talking the entire listing, anywhere from 500 to 1,000 bucks. But that's for photos, images, or I guess photos are images. Main image, infographics, title, bullet points, description, potentially A+ content, brand story as well. If I have 5 to hit a start or to invest, how do I know it's going to sell though? That's kind of the beautiful struggle of business. You don't know if you open up a franchise or a restaurant or start a construction company or start an Amazon business or start a new tech company or an app company. You do not know if it will be successful. Now, the other beauty of business is that we do, as business owners, we do things to mitigate our risk of failure. So I'm not just launching, I'm not like here, anyone who's like, this is your first time hearing about Amazon, something tells me that maybe 1% of the people, and it's okay if this is you, are thinking, I should sell a phone charger or a phone case. You think that's the first product that pops in your head. Those are the two most common. Those aren't good products to sell. So if I'm trying to mitigate my risk of failure, then I'm not going to just pick a random product. I'm going to base it on market numbers. I'm going to add value into the market by differentiating that product, right? So I'm not just clicking copy and paste. I'm going to push for reviews very, 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 very hard when I do launch the product. I'm going to invest, not even necessarily monetarily, but I'm going to invest a lot into my product listing. And so what I mean by not just monetarily, just because you spend the most on getting a listing created doesn't mean it's the best listing, but are you geared for Amazon conversion, for your click-through rate, and all of those other metrics? And then are you continuously optimizing your PPC campaign? Do you have a really good strategy, or are you just throwing a bunch of keywords in your ad campaigns and hoping for the best? So no guarantees in any business, but that's also why who and how you learn Amazon FBA as a whole, Amazon PPC ads, who and how you learn from can be the make or break of your journey, because not all strategies are created equal. I watched a video of this one guy. He makes Amazon videos on TikTok, and he's like, everybody else is telling you to find a product with this good product criteria. And since everybody else is teaching you how to find a good product, since everyone's looking for that, you should look for a bad product. And I'm watching that video. I made a video responding to their video, but I'm watching this video and I'm like, there's no way this person is giving this advice. So to break it down a little bit more, a lot of people, and this is a good product criteria in my opinion. I wouldn't even say a lot of people, but handful say that you should look for a product under or around 500 average reviews. Why? Because the competition is not as established on these markets. So you'll be able to find, 20, 30 sellers under 200 reviews who are doing 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month. Now, why does that matter when I'm doing product research? Well, because on page 1, which is where you want to be, there's a lot of new sellers or low reviewed sellers performing well. How do you launch a product on Amazon? Do you launch with 1,000 reviews, 10,000 reviews? No, you launch with 0, low reviews, and then you're going to push for some more. So we want to look at a market where low reviewed sellers are performing well and there's a decent amount of them. So this guy's advice was, don't do that. Go look for high average reviewed markets. And what you'll notice with a high average review market is you're going to have significantly less sellers in general under 200 reviews. You're going to have significantly more sellers who have thousands of reviews on page 1. So you go into that market, you have to advertise more aggressively. You have a smaller chance with your low reviewed listing of ranking on page 1, but there's some guy out there giving the advice of that's the market that you should go into. All information about Amazon and about ads and about just any business is not created equal. Let's go. I want to start in Cleveland, Ohio. Going to follow now. Let's go. Thank you for the follow, live, laugh. Brother, do you do any live meetups? Not really, to be honest. I don't think I have a big enough following to do a live meetup, if I'm being quite real. 3 people will show up. You were talking about things that no one else speaks about. I appreciate that. That is my North Star of creating content. Hey, Luke, do you sell both Canada and US? I do, Conrad. That's in the YT chat. But yeah, that's my North Star of creating content. I wanted to be the type of creator that helped me along my Amazon journey. I didn't care about being flashy. I didn't care about having the most followers. And I didn't care about, once I created the mentorship, I didn't care about selling the most mentorships. I just want to have the best information where somebody, whether you're in my program, whether you're not in my program, can come to my page and be like, oh, wow, this is really practical advice that I could literally watch this video and apply these things to my Amazon account. And then, God willing, as I implement them with a good product, good strategy, see results. I do private label, Umar. How long until you start to make profits? It depends. It's not a one size fits all answer. Some people can achieve this more or faster than others. On average, 3 to 6 reorders of your product until you start taking distributions. Wedge, thank you so much for the follow. The program is 3K, Jack. What up, Luke? How you doing? What up, Jay Name? Another one of the students up in here. How long did it take you to hit 10 to 15K gross profit per month? 6 months on one product. Andy, thank you so much for the follow. My very first month selling on Amazon, I had the #1 bestseller badge and was doing 10K plus a month in top line revenue profitably. What margin? 40% on that account. Sup, Luke, remember me and how my listing got taken down for copyright? I do. What do I sell? Nobody's going to just give you away a free product to sell, but I literally just posted, last video I posted on TikTok on how to do product research step by step. I give you guys one of the methods. So the margin's 40%. Smex. I don't speak Spanish, David. I also do our private label movie clips, so I don't have to get ungated for the products that I sell, or a majority of them. How can you mentor us? Well, you can ask any question on this live, and if you guys have noticed, I've never once said I'm not going to answer that question. I go line by line and answer everybody's question. Don't gatekeep any information. I have my free videos, and for those who wanted a more in-depth guide and to have me as their personal mentor, I have the AMZ Masterclass mentorship program in the TikTok bio. Glenn, thank you for sharing the live. Does Helium 10 have monthly plans, or it has to be yearly subscription? And which one do you recommend? I like the platinum plan, and they do have monthly subscriptions. Do you recommend using VAs to find products? No, not necessarily. I recommend finding a product yourself. It's fairly simple. A VA, probably not the person you want to be finding a product. Why do I know that? Because I've built out a product research team, and we've obviously tested VAs. We've trained people from the my course criteria or my mentorship criteria, and the VAs just don't necessarily pan out. You'll end up spending more money than you want. How to get max review as much as naturally possible. Friends and family, allegedly, and then the Amazon Vine program. If you didn't want to use friends and family, Vine program. How long does it usually take FBA facilities to check in product to be available to sell? A couple weeks. Let's go. On the YT, I'm in the product research / selection stage. How do you decide this differentiation is good? Time to start contacting suppliers. Conrad, go watch my YouTube video on how to stand out and differentiate from the competition. If you haven't watched that video, I give kind of a pretty in-depth guide, and I show like some live differentiation. But essentially, you want to see what's performing well in the market. Start to segment the data, like 10 out of 30 sellers who make 10K plus a month have a black color. 15 out of 30 sellers who make 10K plus a month have this design, and then start segmenting, see what performs the best, and then start to create a hybrid listing of all the individual differentiators in the market and create one of your own. Costs lots of money to get on page one. Not necessarily, actually. In fact, if you go into the markets that I'm talking about, you have good conversion. Essentially, if you stick to the fundamentals, you can get to page one fairly inexpensively. Now, if you're in a super competitive market, it's going to cost a lot more, of course. JFA, it's funny, y'all. Like, I don't say the things that I say just because I like to hear myself talk. When I talk about the criteria that I use, when I talk about the markets that I go into, when I talk about my conversion strategy, when I talk about why it's so important to push for reviews, all of these things, I promise you, are not because I just like to hear myself blab and yap. It is because those are the things that have gotten the most results when I launch a product, when I'm scaling a product. And so those are the things that I will scream from the rooftops. In fact, again, there's no guarantees in success. There's no guarantees of any of those things, but I'm trying to find the best ways to mitigate my risk when I launch a product. I'll be at the meetup, LOL, let's go. It doesn't matter how many reviews a product has, quality, product, competitive landed, EBC, etc. That's the most incorrect thing that I've ever heard, actually. Something tells me you don't sell products on Amazon because you literally see a direct correlation with the more reviews you get, the better your product converts. For example, I saw it with the reason that I'm assuming that you've never sold on Amazon is because I saw it with the very first product that I ever launched on Amazon. I went from 25 reviews to 50 reviews, from 50 reviews to 75 reviews, and literally every big jump that I would make, not only did my conversion go up, which means I got more sales, but my rank went up, which meant I got more sales, and my sales just overall went up. So reviews 110% do matter. In fact, the last thing that you ever want to do on a product is compete on price. So I agree with you on your margins matter, if that's what you were implying. EBC matters because according to Amazon, it can potentially increase your conversion by up to 10%. But do you want to know remember, keyword potentially. So you're trying to say EBC versus reviews. Literally reviews will help. Let's take a product, 0 reviews, and you have A+ content. And then let's take that same exact listing, no A+ content, but it has 30 reviews. 10 times out of 10, the one with 30 reviews converts better. So you guys gotta, again, remember how I was literally just going on a rant about how all information on the internet is not created equal? You gotta be careful who you're taking advice from, the advice that you're taking. Does private label products require SKU barcode? Does the supplier handle that and ship to Amazon? You create your Amazon barcode in your Amazon account. Once you create a listing, there's a little print barcode drop down, and then you'll select that. Is there a difference between e-com and Amazon FBA? I'm trying to decide which one. No, there's not. E-commerce stands for internet commerce, which is just the act of doing commerce on the internet. So what is Amazon? It is a marketplace on the internet in which people do commerce. So the e-commerce is a business model, but other business models branch off of e-commerce. So you have e-commerce, and then maybe you sell products on eBay, or maybe you sell on Amazon, or maybe you sell on TikTok Shop, or maybe you sell on, you have your own Shopify store, or you do drop shipping, but they all fall under the umbrella of e-commerce. What is BS? What? Hold on. I don't look at BSR when I'm doing product research. Do you recommend getting into this? If it's something you're interested in, I'm not here to sell any of y'all on the idea of Amazon FBA. I'm here to answer any questions that you guys have about Amazon, the business model, if you're looking to start. What's some mistakes I don't want to make when I purchase supply and samples? You want to always make sure that you're negotiating with suppliers. You always want to make sure that you're getting a product inspection done. You want to keep communication on Alibaba. And you want to make sure that the manufacturer that you're ordering from has trade assurance. Umar, thank you so much for the follow. I'm pushing $100 ad spend, almost zero sales. I don't know what to do. You have to get your conversion up. Here's the famous question that anyone who's been in my lives has heard me ask, and you have to answer it transparently if you want the best advice. How many reviews do you have, Net? Electronic commerce, yes. Or sorry, did I say internet commerce? That's what I meant. Thank you. I'm gonna come to the meetup too, Had. Let's go. Sorry. What should I do if I don't get approved for gated products, but I have invoice proof? Submit again. Luke, how was your day? It was a good day, my friend. Every day is a good day. Every day that we wake up. Taylor, thank you so much for the follow. I have one review only so far. It's a 5-star and it's a Vine review. There's the answer to your question, brother. Stop running PPC. Get your reviews up. I have 5 reviews waiting for 10 more or so to start PPC. And by the way, just want to touch on this, Net. Your next $900 in ad spend is not going to look any different from your first $100. This is actually a good point of why I tell people, hold on. But this is why I tell people you want to start conservatively to test how your ads will perform. So Net has spent $100 on PPC ads. He's gotten 0 sales. He only has 1 review. If he goes and spends an extra $900 on PPC ads with that 1 review, his conversion isn't magically going to change. He's already gotten the data on how his product is going to convert at where it stands right now. So this is probably not where he's at now. What I'm about to say, the biggest downfall to Amazon sellers once they launch is they won't get reviews or they won't make optimizations. They'll spend money on ads. They think that more ad spend will magically just make their conversion go up, but that's not how business works. Now, all of a sudden, they've spent $1,000, $2,000 on ads. They're in the red and they've lost money. Can you brand register without a trademark? No, it's the same thing. Yeah. You have your product shipped straight from the manufacturer to Amazon, packaging and everything? Yes. Are you doing only private label? Yes. I started FBA 5 months ago, just hit 65K in sales. Let's go, Kev. Congratulations, bro. Can you speak on brand registry? What do you want me to speak about? It's where you have a trademark linked to your Amazon account. And it gives you access to brand registry, which allows you to protect your brand. It allows you to have A+ content, to add a video to your listing, and a bunch of extra perks, different reports, brand metrics, search query report. I just launched 5 reviews, 40 a day ad spend, 2 sales. What do you recommend, Vine or more ad spend? Vine. Always more reviews, especially sub 15. How am I supposed to get reviews if I can't sneak in friends and family reviews, though? Who said you can't do that? I didn't get the memo. I'm 6 years late to that memo. Do you recommend going to trade shows? I want to go to ADS Vegas in August. You can. I've heard it work out for some people. If you're struggling to get reviews, what's the next step? Stop struggling to get reviews and start asking people. I truly don't believe any of you, respectfully, when you say you don't struggle for reviews, or when you, unless the only people who get a pass is any of you overseas cats, and you don't know anyone in the US. So you're telling me I can get 14 friends and family reviews and I won't get caught? I know some people in the States. I'm telling you that I allegedly know people who have done it and never got caught. So what do I mean when I say I don't believe most of y'all when you say you can't get reviews unless you're in the States? Do you know 10 people? Have you had a conversation with 10 people in your entire life? Do you have 10 people on your social media accounts? If the answer is no, okay, maybe you get a pass. Okay, so see, SS, you don't know anyone in the States. That's a different story. But for everybody else, what's the excuse? I don't want to ask them. Okay, then you don't want your business to succeed. That doesn't help, Jess. You need verified reviews to help with rank. There's nothing to worry about with Vine, brother. You're worrying about, or sister, whatever. People are afraid of jinx. Dude, I want to use the R word, but I can't say that on TikTok. That's silly. That doesn't make any sense. If you believe in God, there's no such thing as jinx. You think somebody wishing bad on you is going to stop God's plan? No. If God is with me, who can stand against me, son? You can jinx me. You could wish ill will upon me all you want, but God's plan is God's plan. My work, my hard, I didn't get this success because of my hard work. I got this success because of God. And, it met God's plan, met my hard work, or my hard work met God's plan. Do you know how many people were talking who were probably wishing that I failed and fell on my face? God's plan, son. God's going to protect me from the demons of the world, son. So when do you recommend to start PPC with 10 reviews? 10 to 15 at least. PPC is pay-per-click ads, Beth. I just started and I have friends and family doing reviews. Just takes a few days for them to post to the account. Yes. Mando, thank you for the follow. Can I not ask friends to buy my product on Amazon and review it? It's technically against Amazon's terms of service. Again, find me an Amazon seller who is at levels like this, who's never done it. Amazon doesn't have a Rolodex of your friends and family. Amazon's not like, oh, Johnny left a review for Zoya. They went to high school together back in whatever year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think Amazon has that information on you? I live in Southern California. Do you know how many people that I do not know are not my friends and family buy my product within a 50-mile radius of my business? Hundreds, if not thousands. Am I going to get flagged because all these people are buying my products near me on the largest e-commerce platform in the world where more than half of America uses it? Can you not have 2 seller accounts on the same address? No. But yeah, there's nothing to worry about Vine reviews. Vine reviews are Amazon customers. So you're trying to stop your product from getting Vine reviews because, oh, what if someone leaves a bad review? Here's a reality check for everybody. It is a 110% chance that you will get bad reviews on your product. 110%. 110%. There is nothing more certain than the fact that you will get bad reviews on your product. So let's say that you waited organically. Okay, I'm going to wait to get 30 reviews on my product organically. That could take months. But you're still going to get the same amount of bad reviews in those months as you would if you submitted your product into Vine and got them in a month. So the fear of Vine is a myth. Movie, I do not do arbitrage or wholesale. I do private label, so I do not need to get ungated on my products. I don't know, man. Amazon scares me. It's okay. It's not for everybody. And there's there's actually nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I don't think business is for everyone. Just because we live in this internet world where you see people like me on the internet, you see these young cats getting success really early, and it almost makes you think do I have to be a business owner? No, you don't. You could live a good and modest, and maybe even not modest. You could live a great life as a 9-to-5 employee. But business is hard. Business is scary. Business is tough. Business is not for the faint-hearted. And business is not, there are going to be times where you're going to feel like the sky is falling. There's going to be days where you're struggling. There's going to be days where you question why you ever got into business. The list goes on. So it's if you're not willing to go down that journey, I would trade that for a 9-to-5 life any day. But I'm Luke Basha. I am me. The funny story, this is kind of irrelevant, but when I was in the scene of trying to buy a car with all of these guys, in the car scene, social media, one of them makes a comment to me. He's like, bro, Johnny bought, I just used the name Johnny. Johnny's already buying 2 cars and you haven't even bought one yet. And I looked at him. I said, hey, bro, what's my name? He's looks at me. He's like, huh? And I was like, what's my name? He said, Luke Basha. I said, exactly. My name's not Johnny. I live my own life, bro. So it's just because you see someone on the internet making money, selling on Amazon, doing this, talking about Amazon, oh, I made this much money on Amazon, blah, 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 blah. I have the same sales as you. You don't have the same margins as me. If you're doing wholesale, I would assume that you're pulling in about $300K on that one account. Also, this is 1 out of 4 7-figure account, Zoya. So we actually do about 3x this overall. And at a 35% plus margin. This account's at a 40% margin. But yeah, I mean, that actually makes what I'm saying another step forward. What do you mean Amazon scares you? You sell on Amazon. If you're actually doing 7 figures on Amazon wholesale, then what is there to be scared about? You know what I'm saying? You already know the ins and outs of what's needed to start a successful business. Literally nothing to be scared about. Saving up to join your mentorship specifically for PPC Masterclass, hopefully this month. Let's go, Jose. I'm new in every product. I answer that. Can I send you my ASIN? Can you tell me if it's possible that I can revive my listing? I mean, bro, you have 1 review. There's no such thing as revive. Get more reviews. I don't even need to look at your listing to give you that advice. Should we max out Vine reviews? I'd max it out. What's your main marketing strategies? Amazon PPC ads. I listed on Amazon 25 days ago, but today Amazon emailed me asking for a compliance certificate. Some products may require that. That's why you got to create a mock listing. Any issues to have a product at a very cheap price? Example, $9. Once you get to reviews, raise it to $39. I would never do that. Is it FTC lawsuit something to worry about when starting FBA? What do you mean? You getting sued by the FTC or FTC's lawsuits with Amazon? And if you're talking about any lawsuit with Amazon, Amazon has gotten sued since Amazon started the company. So no, anytime a new lawsuit pops up, it actually is like wallpaper. I don't even mind it when I walk in the room. How do we get reviews? Friends and family, Amazon Vine program. How long should we wait after creating a mock listing? Couple weeks, and yes, you can edit over your mock listing, and you can send inventory in for that mock listing. No, I mean FTC coming directly at me for doing something wrong. No, I mean, well, yes, that's a fear in any business if you're not FTC compliant. Like for example, my mentorship. I know it's not Amazon, but like if I was sitting here in the live, which I am not, and I am not, I do not mean what I'm saying. I'm saying an example. If I'm like, you guys can make $10,000 a month on Amazon in 3 months, all you have to do is join the blah, 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 blah. That would be not FTC compliant, and I could get in trouble from the FTC. In fact, all of the gurus and mentors and all of the people you see online who make monetary claims, like you will make XYZ, that is not FTC compliant. So you have to be careful with your language. But as an Amazon seller, as long as you're not making like certain claims for your product, you'll be fine. We need a different address for every seller account. Yes, but it's technically against Amazon's terms of service to have a seller account. How many reviews before running PPC? 10 to 15 at least. Savage, thank you for the follow. Have you ever heard of any companies who link you up to influencer campaigns? What was your experience? I always got influencers myself, Victor. I was very successful at doing that. I had a clothing company. My clothing company at its peak had 2,000 followers, and I had influencers everywhere from 5,000 followers to 2 million followers repping my brand. We would nearly sell out of every single collection on drop day when we would release, just because we had so many influencers promoting the brand. So I got those all manually, never reached out to a company. In fact, I never paid a single one of those influencers on the front end. So I never was like, here's $500 to promote my product. I just gave them free product and I paid them on the back end. FBA all day, Yo. There's almost no reason ever to do FBM unless you sell a meltable or furniture product. Can you use your close friends and family squad? Yes. How important is packaging, would you say? It's pretty important. It could be the difference between, like literally 1 centimeter can be the difference between you paying an extra $5 to $7 in FBA fees. You guys want to understand packaging dimensions. I've had students where they ask their manufacturer, this is not applicable everywhere, but I've had students who have asked their manufacturers to like repackage their products, and they were able to save literally like half on FBA fees. So it could be very important, but if you're in a range, like if you're at like the range of like 17 to 19 inches in your packaging, that's not, or sorry, 16 to like 14 to 18 inches in your packaging, for example, you're not really going to see any FBA fees. I just wouldn't do that. People can buy up all your inventory at $9. What you're going to be at a loss at $9, so you're going to lose money. I'd rather use, if you're going to lose money, just use friends and family or Amazon Vine. There was literally a story of a lady who dropped her price significantly on her product. The competitor bought her entire stock. She lost her inventory at a loss. And they did that for the reason of getting reviews. Do you or your employees have a schedule where you only focus on sourcing new ASINs, nothing else? I have a product research team, yeah. So you have 4 accounts under 1 seller account? No, we have allegedly separate accounts, but it's again against Amazon's terms of service technically to have multiple seller accounts. Do you ship products yourself? No, never will, never have. Well, I did a little bit back in the day, but not ship the individual units. I did at some point have products get sent to me, and then I sent them to Amazon. Prep center with it? No. Oh, worth it. I don't use prep centers. There's no need for me to do that with the way that I do business. We may be exploring them pretty soon, but that's actually going to be for the Shopify side, nothing to do with Amazon, because we think we'll get better better rates than with that. No, barely been doing it for 45 minutes. This is child's play, son. What's been your most profitable product category? Health and household and home and kitchen. Let's go. I do private label, bro. So there's no reason to do a prep center, especially if you're, sub 100K a month. You don't have that much inventory. In fact, even with Amazon AWD, I really don't think there's a reason to ever use a prep center if you're doing private label. How long do I need to wait for restriction notice after mock listing? About 2 weeks. How did you manage to have 4 accounts if it's not illegal? I don't like talking about it too much, MGR, because obviously people really listen to what I say, and one wrong thing in this process and you lose all your accounts. I don't want someone to be like, Luke, I was listening to you say about how to get multi-seller accounts and I did it, and now I lost my account that was doing 50K a month, and Amazon may not give that back to you. How long did it take you to optimize ads, get low ACOS? Every product's different, but generally I can dial it in like a month or 2. Is OA worth getting into to get your feet wet with the concept of Amazon? Only if OA is what you plan on doing, but not if you plan on doing private label. Saying, should I do arbitrage and then move over to private label because they're both on Amazon is like saying, should I play American football and then graduate to soccer because they both are on the field? Completely different. They actually have nothing to do with each other. What's your fave category after kitchen and office? Those aren't actually my favorite. Health and household and home and kitchen are my favorite, but it's mainly the home and kitchen. I like baby products and toy products as well. How much stock should I purchase my first time and not run out before I can re-up? I wouldn't worry about not running out. I would worry about getting proof of concept, and that's 100 to 300. I don't share the exact products that I sell for obvious reasons. Quadra. Vanessa, thank you so much for the follow. How to ship products to your customer? Amazon does that for me. I'm 75% convinced of starting your program between you and someone else respectfully. LOL. All good, bro. I can almost guess who I think the other person that you are thinking of, and it's all good. I always know that people are shopping around, as would I if I was gonna, put my hard-earned money into somebody's program. But kind of like what you just said, I already know the program that you're looking at. Especially with what you just said, how you said you will only allow 300 students. It's not that I will only allow 300, it's that I only have 300, and that I could have significantly more, at least double the amount of students if we allowed anyone and everyone into the program. My program is much more personal than almost any other one out there. Also, my program has the best PPC ad guide ever. In fact, I've had at least 15 people from the program that you are talking about right now, at least 15 people from that program join my program after buying that program because they didn't feel they had the sufficient information to scale and grow their PPC ads. In fact, if you go watch my last student result video on my TikTok, that exact person in that video is from the mentorship that you are likely talking about with thousands of students. You will be able, when you join my program, you will actually be able to reach out to me directly. When you join my program, I am actually the one on the Zoom calls, the coaching calls that are being hosted. When you join my program, my shipping company will be every other shipping company 9 times out of 10 that you are considering. When the list goes on and on and on and on. So, yeah, I just leave it at that. I respect some other programs out there. There's no doubt about it. But there's genuinely a reason why I say the Harvard of Amazon private label education. because of startup costs. I always see people say start with OA, then wholesale, then private label. Those people literally don't know what they're talking about. Yayo. It makes zero sense. That's revenue right there. Don't want to be under a mentorship with 1,000 students. I'll be ghosted. I'll just leave it at what I said. I get majority of my products from Alibaba. So I'm one. Hey, my boy Kevin says, so I'm one of 300. Does that mean I'm a Spartan? Yes, bro. You are an AMZ Masterclass Spartan. Is that what I should call my students from now on? Spartans? I kind of like that. According to Amazon AR, A+ content can help increase your conversion by up to 10%. My program left me completely lost and surprised at how complicated PPC actually is. What's really interesting is that my program would be the complete opposite. It would unlock how to actually do PPC the right way. In fact, literally, I'll read you this message. And just for context, what's cool is I didn't ask him to do this. He just did it. This student actually left this exact same comment on my TikTok page. And if you go to my last student result, you'll be able to find that exact comment. So he sent me a screenshot of his sales, and you guys can see that on the student results. He said, Luke, after taking your course, by the way, this student was in another mentorship that he spent significantly more money than my program and was left feeling like he didn't know what to do with his PPC ads campaign, right? He says, Luke, after taking your course and employing just one of your PPC strategies a few weeks ago, using the same 3 to 5 keyword for exact phrase and broad method, my sales are up 147% in the last 30 days. I even had to decrease my spend because my newest launch will sell out. Thank you. Join his program. He's good. There's always his students talking good about him. I appreciate you. Contact support, Jose, or you can also try to do it in your tax information. What do you mean by your shipping company? I created a company strictly for my students for them to save money on shipping. There's other shipping companies, I'll say, out there. And the 9 times out of 10, mine will beat them. May I ask where you get your products from? Majority from Alibaba. All right, bro, you convinced me I'm buying your course. Let's go. Looking forward to having you in the program. Let me see if I can find this guy's first message. Because when he first joined, he had sent me a message that I really loved. How do I get into Messenger? Messenger, there we go. Let's search up his name. Is it under a different name? Okay, we won't spend too much time on that. I also don't share that bang. I don't share my Amazon account name, again, for obvious reasons. Which video has that comment? How about we watch it all together? I'll pull it up for you guys. It's 3K net. Let's pull it up. So let me share this with y'all. So you can read the comment right here. Luke, after taking your course and employing just one of your PPC strategies a few weeks ago and using the 3 to 5 keyword for exact, broad, and phrase, my sales are up 147% in the last 30 days. On that note, everybody, if you guys like the videos, if you guys like the lives, and you want a more in-depth guide on all things Amazon, from my launch strategies to how I find products to the most in-depth Amazon PPC ad guide on the face of this planet, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok bio. God bless y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Conrad, I didn't answer that question, so I'm going to answer it before I hop off, brother. What are the risks if I ask someone close for a review? Just make sure nobody under your the same Wi-Fi as you. Make sure that it is not somebody who is linked to your Amazon account in any way. Spread out the reviews. Don't send people direct links. Have them search the product on Amazon themselves. Allegedly, this is how people do it. God bless y'all, YouTube. Make sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the YouTube bio, and I will see y'all soon.